welcome or welcome back to my channel. I found this video saved in my Google storage and I was super stoked. I did this video back in the beginning or middle of July and the video just disappeared and I thought it was gone forever. Today I'm going to show you how to use alcohol inks. Now I've had these alcohol inks for a little while and they don't seem to have went bad, but I'm going to show you kind of what I do. These are the alcohol inks from Igel Beauty. So before I used it, since it had been sitting for a while, I just gave it a quick shake and then no rhyme or reason. I just kind of do a Y shape or like an X with them, either an X or a Y to just kind of get like that basic marble look for the nail. And what you want to do is you literally just put however much you want on there. I just did a little bit more because I wasn't sure. This was my first time playing since I swatched them, so I haven't really done them. This is just a basic application. Also, make sure you twist the lid all the way back on because you do not want any disasters. So, the next color I'm using is a blue. Now, I tried to keep the patterns just a little bit different, but it is really hard because I'm kind of set in my ways when using alcohol inks, and I wanted to make it like a super easy tutorial for y'all. So what I did was I just kind of applied where I thought it might look nice. To see my design went a little bit different, but you want to kind of shake your hand and you don't want straight lines. You kind of want to make them a little bit like zigzag or like jagged type lines because it makes it, when you blend it out, it will make it look better. So you'll see when we get to that point. So now we're going to do the yellow. You want to also make sure you're putting enough ink on there, especially like with your lighter colors. You want to make sure that you're putting enough on there so that you have enough when it starts to blend that it doesn't completely fade. So I found out that yellow was a little bit difficult for me to work with. And then the black, I like put way too much, as y'all will see at the end when I get to the black, and it's on the smallest nail too. So I decided that I was going to do different colors so that y'all can see me work with different colors and kind of see how I spread the look to get the final result. I just am kind of dabbing it on with the tip of the brush, and you can kind of see I'm picking up a little bit, like a good bit of product, like it's wet. So the trick is with alcohol inks also, when you're done with this part, you're going to have to wait completely for them to dry. So I literally waited an entire day and I did not go back to mess with this until the very next day because I wanted to make sure that my alcohol inks were dry. Now, like, you don't have to do it in excess like that, but I don't have all the time in the world. I mean, I have 4 kids, 2 of them being toddlers with homeschooling and stuff. So I really just don't have a lot of time to sit and do a mani for like hours, especially if it's playing. I did this at their nap time and I was only able to do this much. So what I did was I got this far because I had a couple of other things to do, and I literally just sat it on my desk out of reach and I just let them dry. So here we are, everything has dried. You will know when it's dry because it will look matte. When it looks matte, you are ready to go. My brush of choice to use is the 3D brush from Sundara nails. I like to use this type of brush. If you see the shape of the brush, this is the type of brush that I prefer to use because it works best for me. In my container is acetone, 100% acetone. Now you can use alcohol as well, but I feel like acetone just kind of spreads it out a little bit better for me. And then there is really no rhyme or reason for how I did this. I just went around the edges and kind of blurred the color just a little bit, and I kind of just got it to where I thought it looked nice. Now, I just do a rough pass the first time and I kind of just let things dry and move along, but I do eventually come back and fix some of them just a little bit because I'm like, that could be a little bit better. Also, if you're using too much acetone, you will completely wipe off what you have done. So like down at the bottom, you see how I had too much blue. I just kind of moved it off with the acetone and I just kind of moved the shapes how I wanted them. Well, not shapes, I guess lines. You do want to keep the marbling line. I feel like that it just accentuates the marble and makes it look super awesome and cool. Now, what I did not do was I did not embellish or add any foils or glitter or anything to these nails. I just left them straight like this and just put a top coat on. So while you're messing with the acetone and the playing around to get the shape how you want, I mean, you can always add more alcohol ink if you end up wiping off too much, or you can just let it dry and come back to it. It's really a personal preference when messing with alcohol inks. So for this one, I did it different because I wanted to show you a little bit of a different technique. What I did was I went in with the acetone and I left my brush just a little bit more wet than the rest of the time. And I just put acetone on the whole shape or the initial lines that I drew with the color just to let it spread out. And then I went around the edges and just kind of like tamed it a little bit. Because what it's doing is the acetone is pushing the color and it makes the veins super awesome. I felt like it made it just vein out really well. So then I tried to do it with the black. And if you put too much of a color, you can't really take it away because it's stained. Also, I forgot to say that when I did the alcohol ink, I did the alcohol ink over a matte nail. So I did 2 layers of white gel polish, and then I applied a matte top coat, and then I applied the alcohol ink on top of that, just because it will allow it to soak into the matte layer. So I just kind of play around with the acetone in my brush just until I'm liking how it's looking. And then I took a look at all of them and I was like, yeah, the yellow's not looking too great. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to mess with it. The red's not looking great, so I'm just going to go back. And you can always go back, but you definitely want to let them dry. Let them sit, let them dry before you put any kind of top coat on, because you don't really want to put top coat because it can top coat on a wet nail, especially with acetone, because it will make it like peel and stuff. So you just want to make sure everything is dry. So then I waited another day because this is all I had time to do today. I waited another day and then I put the top coat on. And then I just I put gel top coat on because I'm just a fan of gel top coat. But I waited another day when I had taken these nails off, when it was ready for these nails to come off that I currently had on, so that I could apply these. I really, really like how they turned out, and I really think that I'm going to be playing more with alcohol inks. I did post this already on my Instagram, and people did vote for a fire-inspired mani with alcohol inks and glitter and all that stuff. So I do have that coming in my next alcohol ink video. So stay tuned and look out for that. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Have a good one.